The book I'm sharing in this report is Driftless, Photographs from Iowa by Danny Wilcox Frazier. Frazier is a photojournalist and a documentary photographer, but like many that are good in those fields, his work regularly appears in galleries and a growing number of museum collections. This is Frazier's first book. He won the Haneken First Book Prize, which used to be done in conjunction with Duke University, and this was published by Duke back in 2007. There's a small amount of text in the book. One example is this poem by the Nobel Prize winner Seamus Heaney called In Iowa. The foreword for the book was written by Robert Frank, which is kind of poignant and ironic given the news earlier this week that Frank died at the age of 94. Frank notes about Frazier's photographs that they are passionate photographs without sentimentality. And anybody familiar with Frank's work would have to think that had Frank settled in Iowa, he may have beaten Frazier to a lot of the photographs included in this collection. Frazier was born and raised in Iowa. He still lives here. He's a product of the University of Iowa, where he also taught photojournalism on and off over the last several years. He's now affiliated with the 7 Photo Agency, which is probably one of the most esteemed photo agencies, maybe second only to Magnum. He continues to cover Iowa and the Midwest, oftentimes looking at marginalized communities throughout this region, but he also does work around the world, most notably in Africa with some leading NGOs. He's also, because he's in Iowa, a regular on the presidential campaign trail, and a lot of his work appears quite frequently in publications ranging from Time magazine to Vice to National Geographic. There's 80 photographs that are included in this book, all of them taken in the early 2000s, and all of them taken within about a 20 to 30 mile radius of where Frazier still lives today. The only other text in this book are some very straightforward captions with each photograph. Simply noting what it is we're looking at, very briefly, the community it was taken in, and the year that the photograph was shot. There's an expression, Iowa nice, which is maybe a stereotypical way to look at people in Iowa and in the Midwest as being nice, hardworking, decent people, the kind of people that give you the shirt off their back. Frazier captures maybe a little more gritty side of Iowa that goes against some of the stereotypes people might have. A lot of it, he captures the poverty that we find in rural America, some of the substance abuse problems that are in rural America. He's done a good job of embedding himself with people not only at work and home, in this case obviously at a county fair rodeo, but also in places ranging from strip clubs to skinny dipping parties to even religious services. As a photographer and as an Iowan, I'd definitely recommend that you check out Danny Wilcox Frazier's work. You can find a lot of more recent examples if you just search for the 7, it's Roman numeral 7, photo agency. And that shares not only some of the work you see here, but also some more recent publications that he's had in a range of places. So, like I said, as an Iowan and as a photographer, I hope you take the time to take a look and become a little more familiar with his work. And I appreciate you giving a listen and a look up to this point. Thanks.